Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Short Box. My name is Kevin.
I'm Donald.
And I will always be your Jared.
Yes. And today we are doing another wonderful, powerful superhero Smackdown. We have today the Battle of the Elements, the Battle of the Supernaturals, and the Battle of the Power Brokers.
So Sam and Dean's in there, right?
Of course.
Cool. Cool. I like that.
All right, we're going to start with the Battle of the Power Brokers because I'm excited to hear this matchup of Mr. Jared.
Call me Mr. J. All right, yeah, the Battle of the Power Brokers, the shirtless Power Brokers, because these two guys that I have chosen, and that's right, I did something new. I just did a one-on-one, everybody. No teams today for me, but maybe somebody else brought one.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, my guys like to fight shirtless. They're very sophisticated, but they like to just show off their pecs and their abs when they're fighting.
These are manly men.
And these men are Raish Al Ghul, the Demon's Head, and Sebastian Shaw, the Black King, leader of the Inner Circle of the Hellfire Club.
Now, those names are very regal.
Oh my God, yes. Raish or wait, let me just real quick. How do you say it?
I mean, I usually call him Ra's al Ghul, but Ra's al Ghul, I mean, I guess it's potato. What do you think, Donald?
Yeah. I would go with Ra's al Ghul.
Rasha. See, look at that. See, we even in the you said Ra. See, people say Ra's al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul, Raish al Ghul.
I think in the animated series they call him Raish, if I'm correct.
And I think in the
Batman Begins, and they call him like Ra's al Ghul.
Do they?
If I recall.
And then I think then also I think Bane's like Ra's al Ghul. So yeah, I don't know.
That's true.
I think who created him? Was it Dennis O'Neil?
Dennis O'Neil, I believe.
I think he said it once, and I forgot. But either way, I'm going to go with Raish today. Raish al Ghul, the Ghoul's Head or Demon's Head. He is commonly an adversary of the Batman. He first appeared in Batman number 232, The Daughter of the Demon, in 1971. He's one of Batman's most enduring enemies, and
What issue was it? It was 232, right?
232, yeah, 1971.
I think I have that issue, right?
It's a good
I
book.
believe you do, sir.
Yeah, it's got a great cover. It's like a green cover with
Yeah, with
shadows like on
It's one of those classic Bronze Age issues.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He is the leader of the League of Assassins. And like I was saying before, Raish al Ghul translates in Arabic to the Demon's Head.
Nice.
He is the son of Sensei, the father of Talia al Ghul and Nissa Ratko, and grandfather of Damian Wayne. His powers, let's get to those. He has a genius-level intellect, peak physical conditioning, superior strength and stamina. He is a master of martial arts and hand-to-hand combat for centuries. He is better, they've said, than Batman because of the time he's had to train.
Right.
And the reason he's been able to train so long is because he's nearly immortal due to the Lazarus pits that he not constantly, but he bathes in occasionally when he wants to rejuvenate himself and continue his quote-unquote immortality.
Now, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, that's
right. I'm feeling a little old today. My knee's giving me some trouble. Just gonna go bathe in the Lazarus pit.
I'm feeling a little peakish. What is it? Peakish?
Peakish.
Yeah. Swordsmanship, fencing, a little alchemy and demonology, marksmanship and acrobatics. Yeah, he's a worldly man. He's been around for quite some time, and yeah, he can revive himself pretty much anytime he goes into those pits. And like I was saying, I think the biggest thing right there is he can kick Batman's ass, and I think he has before. He's definitely given him a run for his money, especially when his shirt's off, because he likes to take his shirt off. Yeah. Next, we have Sebastian. I love this. Has a middle name too. Sebastian Hiram Shaw.
Hiram.
Yes. Shaw is the leader of the New York Hellfire Club branch, an exclusive secret society bent on world domination. He once funded the mutant hunting Sentinel program, even though he himself is a mutant. And his powers are the ability to absorb energy to enhance his physical attributes and healing. He also possesses access to sophisticated weaponry and telepathic blocking technology. And I'm just going to go in a little more on his powers because he's actually the one with powers. He's a mutant, as I said before, with the unique ability to absorb all kinetic and thermal energy directed at him and use it to augment his strength, speed, stamina, and recuperation capabilities to superhuman levels. He's gone toe-to-toe with Colossus and thrown him like a rag doll. He's absorbed Cyclops' optic blasts. By absorbing successive blows from an opponent, Shaw can surpass the physical abilities of said opponent and then overpower them. His speed is the attribute most dramatically increased by his power, and after absorbing enough energy, he can attack more quickly than opponents can react. Now, what I liked in reading about his powers, what I thought was cool is they said in the morning, to just kind of juice himself up, they said, and I think they showed it in some of his early first appearances in those early Claremont Byrne issues, he punches walls just to kind of build up the kinetic energy, just to kind of get all juiced up.
Nice.
And then there was another one saying he has his men, his opponents try and pummel him so that he would not need to sleep for some time, because it also gives him enough energy to just stay awake and stuff like that. So he's just like, all right, guys, kick my ass for a little bit. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm juiced up. Go the fuck. Leave me alone.
He's kind of into some BDSM kind of stuff, it
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
like.
Yeah, he's just like, I can take it. Peg me. Whoa. Emma, peg me. Whoa. Okay. Anyway,
Oh my goodness.
all right. So with that, let the Smackdown begin. Sorry, I got a little Sean Connery
Yeah,
there.
you did.
You're the man now, dog. I gotta say is these guys are definitely equal in the power broking, and in fact, I might even tip it to Ra's al Ghul a little bit more because he's been around longer. I think Shaw's aging has been. I mean, I know they do it in the First Class movie. They talk about it, but in the comics, it's not. I don't think as excessive. Like he's not like immortal, but it definitely, I think, being able to absorb the energy has kept him young, and
Keeps the cells young.
yeah, keeps the cells
Kind
young.
of vampiric.
Yeah, kind of. And they both have their armies at their beck and call.
A lot of money too.
Yeah, League of Assassins, and yeah, all that power. Hellfire Club, the Inner Circle, and his minions, the mercenaries who work for the Hellfire Club. So to see those two groups go into an epic battle would be awesome. I would totally pay lots of money to see that crossover of the DC and Marvel universe happen. But in a one-on-one fight between the two of them, I have to say I give it hands down to Sebastian Shaw. Now, why? It's because they've also said that Sebastian Shaw can take the kinetic energy from bladed weapons coming at him, any kind of weapon coming at him. So it doesn't matter if Ra's al Ghul is coming at him with swords. And I would say Ra's al Ghul is a better fighter than Sebastian Shaw by far. In fact, I would say Ra's al Ghul could kick handedly Sebastian Shaw's ass in a physical fight. But Sebastian Shaw is almost an Omega level mutant as far as his kinetic energy absorption is. And I'm thinking him, all he's going to do is just absorb the blows, and then just snap Ra's al Ghul's neck. Like, I don't even see it. I could see it being, if it was like their groups and their organizations against one another, I could see that being very cunning and very chess versus chess.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the fighting goes, unless Ra's al Ghul had some kind of powers, but if he's just fighting him physically, it doesn't matter how skilled he is. It doesn't matter if he was going against Batman, Daredevil, the best fighters in the world. If he's just absorbing the kinetic energy and then he himself can just channel it back however he wants to, it's kind of, like he's taken just straight up punches by Colossus and just like laughed at it.
It's kind of like this weird version of like Aikido.
Right.
He's kind of resorted right back repel it right back at the person, their energy, their physicality.
Using a bat. Yeah, but even like 100-fold.
100-fold, exactly, like 100-fold.
I'm gonna agree with Jared 100% on this. And
this is painful for you, by the way.
It is, because
you love Ra's al Ghul.
I do. I love Raj, whatever you want to call him. I love
Racy.
him. I love all the versions.
Yeah.
Anyway, I see it as kind of like a Rob Roy type scenario, where Sebastian Shaw is basically Liam Neeson, and Raj is basically Tim Roth.
Tim Roth. That's so funny. I was just thinking of that movie.
He has the finesse and the experience.
The foppish.
Liam,
Yeah.
Liam has the brute force and the strength. So
Right.
while he, when he landed that sword into his hand and he just kind of grasped it, and he kept taking all these hits and these cuts, and eventually
Right.
kind of just pulled him towards him and took him out.
Right.
And that's just the way it was. Sebastian is a brute,
Right.
and he's got endless amounts of strength.
Right.
Raj is very experienced, and he's cunning, and he's got the finesse, but he doesn't have endless amounts of strength.
Right.
And he's just going to get overpowered. He's going to get cowed.
Right.
Is what I used to call it when I would set on my nieces and fart. I would call it was cowing them, because they couldn't get up because you were just
You might in your brain have ways to get out of this, but you're not going to
because I'm just too heavy.
Yeah, I'm too heavy, and the farts are too stinky.
Right. So that's where I agree with you.
And I even thought too, even if they were fighting near a Lazarus pit and he jumped into the Lazarus pit, got rejuvenated, when he comes out of it, he's crazed. So even then, he could just, like I said, he could handedly give him an ass whooping. There's no comparison as far as skill level in fighting. But Sebastian Shaw is just going to be like, that's great. You gave me some great kicks, and were I a normal person, I'd be dead. But I'm not. I'm a mutant. And I've just absorbed all that, and you've only made me stronger.
By the way, whose power is similar to Sebastian Shaw's? Bishop.
Bishop in the energy level.
The energy level.
You know who actually, another mutant who's pretty much identical to Sebastian Shaw? Strong Guy.
Strong Guy. Yep.
Except Strong Guy, the only difference is he gains muscle mass.
Right.
But pretty much it's the same type of power, which is why he was almost on my X-Men team when we
I thought you were going to do it.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I thought Strong Guy's on your team, but no.
Now he's my second alternate. Going back to another show. But yeah, so that's 2-4. You, Kevin, what is your...
I can't disagree. I mean, this is, like you said, when you have that mutant energy of kinetic energy, you can be able to repel and absorb people's blows like that. There's nothing you can do. There's really nothing much you can do about it.
The only way I could see it being any different, not one-on-one, but is if it was organizations versus organizations.
Right, League of Assassins versus Hellfire Club. Which, like you said, that would be an awesome...
I'd pay to see that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'll get on it. I'll write it all by myself, and then I'll pitch it to nobody. I'll sit in a closet and pitch it to the world.
You can pitch it to your daughters.
Yeah. Girls, what do you think? Yeah, that's great, Dad.
Yeah,
Can I have a lollipop now?
Yeah. Can we watch Frozen for the
Frozen again?
100th time?
Do you want to build a snowman? All right, so...
I guess I'll go next.
Kevin?
I have the Battle of the Elements. I have the great Omega level mutant, Bobby Drake, the Iceman, one of the original X-Men, versus Mr. Firestorm, Ronnie Raymond.
That reminds me, those Frosties at Wendy's are delicious.
Are they now?
I thought you were going to say the Battle of the Elements. Snow versus a hot summer day.
Yes.
Ah, there you go. Yeah.
A blizzard versus a heat wave.
A heat wave.
By the way, Wendy's is sponsoring this, but no, they're not, actually. That'd be cool
Thank
if they were. Wendy's.
Did I mention these square meat patties are to die for? Wendy's.
Fresh, never frozen.
Yeah. So, Bobby Drake versus Ronnie. This is the Ronnie Raymond, the original version, right?
Yes, the Firestorm.
And what was the Martin Stein, was it?
Yes, Professor Stein was like his link, this guide.
Oh, so you're going with Ronnie.
Yeah, I'm going Ronnie.
Okay, because you could have gone with the other guy, the newer.
Jason Roosh?
Yeah, the newer guy.
Well, I could.
Or even the one from Legends of Tomorrow,
Oh,
whatever his name was. I can't remember. It was Sucky McSuck.
Well, they're doing they're doing the mix, right? With the Legends. They're doing like the Jason Rush. Is it Rush, though?
No, it's
No,
not.
it is. It's Ronnie Raymond, isn't it?
No, it's not Ronnie.
Is it another one?
Ronnie Raymond was, and then the guy that was playing him
That's right.
didn't want to do it anymore. So basically, they just kind of got rid of him.
And he was the brother of Arrow. Yeah, the original Firestorm guy was Stephen Amell's. No.
Oh,
cousin,
in real life.
Cousin or,
in
cousin
real
or
life?
brother in real life.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
So all these wonderful connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legend sucks, by the way. Anyway, go on.
Yes. Iceman, Bobby Drake.
We are not sponsored by Legends.
Nope.
At least not yet.
No.
Iceman Bobby Drake first appeared in X-Men #1 back in 1963. And he has the ability to freeze the moisture in the air and create objects such as slides, ladders, projectiles, and of course he can coat his entire body with organic ice
And Vaseline.
and Vaseline.
And he was the best in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends when he'd be like, remember how he turned
yeah.
into he'd freeze himself and then break out.
Break out.
That was cool.
That was cool. When I was a kid, I tried to like copy that. It was awesome.
You put yourself in the freezer, huh?
Well, no, not
And
quite.
towel.
I wouldn't be here today if I did that. He can also augment his shape and size. He's demonstrated the ability to animate ice forms by creating figures. He also can create clones of himself if necessary.
Yeah, he kind of went Omega level, right?
Yeah, he's a mega level mutant.
Yeah.
Of course, these clones don't gain intelligence.
He also
And-
turned gay, didn't he?
And then
What's that?
they
Didn't he
made
turn
him
gay?
they
Isn't he
made the
gay?
character gay.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
But then I don't know if they went back on it.
At one point, Beast, I think, was gay too, or they were talking
And
about.
Alan
it.
Scott was gay.
Dr. McCoy?
Yeah, they made all the X-Men gay. I think. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
I just don't like when it was like that. It was just like, now he's gay, because it was just like
Right.
it was
weird.
just a prop. It wasn't like a real like character development.
It's a way to make money,
Yeah,
to cash
exactly,
in on something.
exactly.
Which I understand,
Yeah.
but as a comic purist, and that sounds terrible, but as a I like my
Yeah.
comic book characters to be the way they were created.
right.
Doesn't necessarily mean that you can't change them, and by all means, please do. But if you do, I mean, there's so many avenues to take. Like for DC, they have Elseworlds, and
Or just
or
create a real character like
Right, yeah.
Wildstorm, Midnighter, and Apollo. They were originally a gay couple,
right,
and,
that
have
was
been since.
and that
yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It worked really well for the
Yeah.
characters, and you were like, man, these guys are badasses.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
kicking ass. Yeah, it was cool.
Let's see. And Bobby can also augment his size. He has the ability to grow to heights of over 100 feet. And a side effect of this alteration is that he's superhuman strength to match his larger form. If damaged, he can reform damaged or missing body parts. While physically and mentally taxing, this ability can be used to reform his entire body if necessary, as he is able to reform himself to ice or water vapor.
Cool.
Jesus, they
Yeah.
went. I remember seeing the size alteration, going like, oh man, they really like kicked Iceman up like 10 notches.
Oh, yes. And under Emma Frost's control and guidance, he was able to turn himself into liquid,
Mm-hmm.
travel in the form through a body of water, and return back to his organic ice form.
Wow.
Yes,
That's nuts.
pretty impressive.
You remember what? Remember who it was? That story where was it Mikhail Rasputin, the brother of Colossus?
A Colossus, yes.
Like had like energy manipulating powers, and he like did all this crazy stuff with them, and was kind of like, don't you see how powerful you actually are? Like I'm like making you into water and all this stuff. Like he kind of by kicking his ass, he showed him.
Show him, hey, you got
Yeah.
these other abilities.
Yeah, I'm still kicking your ass, but just
Just let you know, you're pretty,
so you know.
you're pretty powerful, buddy.
You could be if you wanted to be. Now, here's a smack.
And he can shift through any phase of water. Iceman has also demonstrated the ability to control chemical reactions involving heat exchange and can prevent people with fire-based abilities from using their powers.
You can also make your drinks really cold.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great,
Great
at
for
parties.
parties, yeah.
Now, a weakness of his, if he gets extremely tired or has been mentally taxed, his powers begin to become dysfunctional.
Isn't everybody though?
That's everybody. But he is human, so at some point things start to break down.
Well, he ain't no human. He's
Well,
a mute.
He's a mutant.
He's a dirty mutie.
Mutie.
I'm sorry. Whoa, I really just let my real feelings show
You
there.
just offended some people.
I'm
man.
sorry. I just think we should build a wall and keep out all the muties. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my goodness.
There's some definite parallels we could bring up with the X-Men and what's going on in today's.
Oh,
Atmosphere.
with the X-Men.
That's
Yeah,
true.
That's very true.
Now, Firestorm, Ronnie Raymond, first appeared in Firestorm, the Nuclear Man #1.
That's incorrect. That is incorrect.
I looked up this. I looked
That
at
is
3 different places.
incorrect.
Well, tell me the first one.
I'm kidding. No, that's correct.
What the say? Like,
You son of a bitch.
Look at 3 different places. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway,
Anyway,
Firestorm.
I will say this though.
Uh-huh.
If you look at the character Firestorm, it's amazing how many characters first appeared in his books.
It's true.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
like
a lot.
Blue Devil, you showed me that
Blue
one.
Devil, Slipknot,
Mhm.
Not the band.
Not the
not-
shitty band.
Killer Frost.
Uh-huh.
What else? Like a couple more. There's like at least 2 or 3 more that appeared in his books. It's really cool.
Wasn't it? Oh, no, that was Teen Titans. I was going to say the Captain Carrot and the Zoo Crew, but I think that was a Teen Titans.
Yeah, I think that was a Teen Titans book.
But it could have been cool. Anyway,
Yes.
go on.
Ronnie Firestorm, the Nuclear Man, #1. Make Way for Firestorm was his first appearance in 1978. Now, his many vast powers, Mr. Firestorm. One is molecular manipulation. He has the ability to rearrange the atomic and subatomic structure of inorganic matter, rearranging subatomic particles to create objects of different atomic characteristics of equal mass. And he also has the ability to do transmutation. He can transmute lead into gold of equal mass. And he has also the ability to change its shape.
Can he spin straw into gold?
You know, that's a good question.
Maybe.
That'd be pretty cool.
I actually always thought transmutation was one of the coolest powers. But just the ability to turn, like, anything into something else is just, like, it's kind of one of those, like, limitless powers if you know what you're doing, I guess.
That's true.
Anything else on his power level?
Also, he can do concussive energy blast,
Those always help.
flight,
Nice.
telepathic links. So he can telepathically link with Professor Stein,
Right.
as well as the other Firestorm in recent stories, Mr. Jason Rush.
Who did he meld with? Was it like a girl or
No, I thought it was Raymond.
was
Wasn't
it
it
Raymond
Raymond?
at first? Yeah. Wait. No, Raymond got killed
Raymond got killed, and Jason
by
Rush,
Shining Knight's sword. That was
Shining
actually a
Knight's
cool
sword.
death. Shadow Thief stole Shining Knight's sword,
Oh.
stabbed him,
him.
and like he
What?
went nuclear.
What issue? What void?
Oh God, what was it?
It's not. I want to say not Infinite Crisis. It was like one of those.
I think it was an Identity Crisis.
Identity Crisis.
It
I think
was.
Was it?
Identity
One of the
Crisis.
Identity
Yes.
Crisis.
Damn.
Identity Crisis. Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to reread that.
I think
Sick.
you're right.
Yeah.
Jason Rush. I think him and his girlfriend at some point were like together as
Something,
Firestorm,
yeah.
if I recall. Yes. And then I believe she got killed by like the Black Lantern, like Ronnie Raymond. He actually killed. That's why they're.
Oh, okay.
That's
okay,
why.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah.
they were beefing for a while because he blamed him for the death of his girlfriend.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
See, everything comes
It's
back
all
to you.
coming back to
All
you.
coming back. Also, Firestorm can do energy manipulation, generate destructive and concussive blasts of fusion energy from his hands to absorb radiation harmlessly. He's basically a nuclear fusion, reactor, basically walking around.
Right.
Intangibility. Raymond can render himself intangible and thereby pass through solid objects harmlessly. And also another thing I discovered, which I didn't know, Time Sight can play back memories of the Firestorm Matrix. Possesses the ability of limited time sight, allowing him to see the Matrix's past or future while dreaming. And one last thing, enhanced vision. Actually, this is the other side. He can see atomic.
Oh, so you can like add like a DVD player or something to
Maybe
vision.
Blu-ray. Maybe Blu-ray.
The enhanced vision.
Maybe Blu-ray.
Oh, that was really lame. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That was the worst comic joke ever, and yet very awesome because of that.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go sit in the corner. I'm
Hey,
time-outing
Vision?
myself.
Vision, I'm doing a crossover real quick. I'm going to enhance you. That was the weirdest crossover ever.
He can see atomic interactions and structure of molecules. He can also see the ultraviolet spectrum and detect thermal signatures. He also has microscopic and telescopic vision.
Ooh.
Very Superman-like, if you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And now, let the Smackdown begin.
Dun dun dun.
I had a difficult time trying to figure out who would win this one at first because Bobby Drake over the years is becoming so powerful as this mega level mutant. And you also brought up with Mikhail showing him, his other things he can do. And interestingly enough, as I mentioned, he has the ability to shut down people with fire abilities.
Mm-hmm.
But as I did my research,
Mm-hmm.
Firestorm is more than fire.
Right.
He's energy. He's nuclear fusion.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't necessarily mean much. And that's why I believe Firestorm in the end would squeak this one out. Iceman would put up a great fight. I could see Firestorm melting Iceman, down to, liquid form and, Bobby Drake, going down the drain, or is to say the fight's over the ocean or something like that. He'll reform himself, reconstitute himself.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that really matters, the thing that's going to make the difference in this very excellent and most righteous of fights would be the ability to transmute.
Yeah, that's a huge power.
And, for example, he could transmute the air around Bobby, around Iceman, and basically turn him into anything, turn him into another object
All right.
and, seal him up, throw him out into space to a star or something like that.
Get him on a playground.
Get him on a playground.
Encase him in glass.
Encase him in glass.
And then just pump that glass case filled with oxygen. And then just light it on fire.
Or something else. As you know, water is H2O. It's made of two different molecules. Right. Or two different elements. There's hydrogen and oxygen.
Right.
He can separate that in of itself. He can actually separate molecules.
And
he can. He can hydronize Bobby, but what if Bobby then, as a alpha level mutant, is able to control
Omega.
Alpha for me. He'll always be my alpha. Can like control himself in that form, gets into his lungs, and then crystallizes and reforms back into ice and expands out and
Explodes.
He can add mass. Iceman can add mass to himself.
Yes, he can.
If he was by an ocean, could he make that part of him and even become
like a giant,
like a
ice monster?
Crazy
he could.
Giant.
He could.
But I mean, that's location.
Yeah, they did a thing where
location.
It was like an alternative future, and it was this was a run that wasn't too long ago. It was Brian Michael Bendis, I think, that wrote it. It was like the all new X-Men or something. And in there, some of the mutants from the future came back to the past to try to stop the young mutants from being there or something. They were like, this is interfering. They need to go. And one of the characters was supposed to be Iceman, but it ended up being like one of the creatures, I think, if I'm correct. One of the offshoots of Iceman that he created. Okay. And it's this big, ginormous ice monster creature thing.
Oh, really?
That could talk and stuff, but he was just like this huge creature ice monster. And it was really cool.
That's cool.
It was I think you dig it, man. It was a cool run for a little while.
Now, I'm glad you brought that up because that would be interesting. I mean, this is the way to Bobby to stay in the game.
Right.
But like I said, along with molecular manipulation and transmutation, another little weapon in the arsenal could be the other Firestorm. He has the ability, Ronnie can call upon Jason Rush to merge with them and can form an even more powerful composite Firestorm. And,
I mean,
that would be bad news.
And I don't even think he needs that. To me, honestly, I think if it was like a 10 out of 10, Iceman could maybe win 4 times just out of being creative.
Right.
Or getting the right, like something like getting in his lungs, like something like that.
Right.
But I would say a majority of the time I'd give it to Firestorm.
If Iceman was going against Firestar, the Human Torch, actually, any of the Human Torches for that matter,
right?
I would give it to Iceman.
All 17 Human Torches.
Yes.
The android, the partner, the other,
yeah. No. But as I said earlier, Firestorm is more than just simply fire.
No, transmutation.
Transmutation,
to me, like
nuclear fusion, you can't mess with that.
Yeah.
To me, there's just certain powers that are like up there. Like there's the Superman abilities. Telekinesis to me is like up there, and transmutation is up there because it's just like it's this god power where you can turn one thing into another, you know, and it's just
telekinesis, Kyle.
Yeah,
that's right. And by the way, like I said, Iceman will give a good fight, but at the end of the day, I mean, when you get to that transmutation and molecular manipulation, and like I said, separating the atoms.
Yeah,
that's not good.
I forgot how much I liked Iceman when I was a kid. It's especially the figure that they came out with, the X-Men one. A lot of them, when they first came out with them, were not so great. I mean, they were just okay.
Right.
But the Iceman one was kind of cool. I always thought he was cool because he's almost clear, like...
Iceman was... Yeah. It's funny we were talking about Iceman because I was just thinking about, like, how we just... The names of characters, how it's such a general... Iceman, Spider-Man. Like, these, like, names, it's like... I just started thinking, I was like... I'm like, that must have sounded really corny when they first like came up with the X-Men. Like, Cyclops is a cool name. Angel, whatever. Marvel Girl is cool. Beast is cool. But Iceman, he's a man of ice. But yeah, he's always been cool. I've always loved Iceman. And I think it's because I grew up with Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends was like my favorite cartoon growing up as a kid.
It's funny you mention it. We talk about those original Iceman. Marvel Girl always sounded weird to me.
Marvel Girl?
Iceman's made sense to me, but Marvel Girl sounded just really weird. Oh, she's the Marvel Girl.
Well, as soon as they could get rid of that, they did. They're like, she's Phoenix or Jean Grey, and that's it.
She-Hulk, I thought, was kind of a dumb name for the longest time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a female Hulk, so they call her She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Well, I guess they're trying to, like She-Ra.
I guess what we're doing is really just calling out some of these early comic creators.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Sorry, Stan Lee.
Most
you
of you.
Oh, no, you didn't fail.
No, he didn't.
You did
Not
fine.
at all.
You did okay.
No.
So you gentlemen
are
you gentlemen in agreement with me? Do you believe that at the end of the day, Firestorm would take this?
I'm gonna have to.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry,
Challenge
but
me.
I'm definitely gonna side with you on this. I think, and I apologize to everybody about this because I like to be the devil's advocate a lot. But yeah, Firestorm, even with the inexperience that he has, he's still gonna get lucky. And like Jarrett said, 6 to 8 times out of 10, most likely 8 times out of 10, he's gonna be able to whoop on Iceman pretty bad and just totally take him off the table there, off the board.
He's just got too many angles to come at him with.
Yeah.
And by the way, depending on which version I'm using, with Professor Stein in him, I mean, galore. You know, the man's a brilliant man.
Mhm.
Actually, they're both very smart guys. So, they're like, hey, this is what you do. You know,
It was always like when I was a kid, though, it always bothered me when there was somebody in somebody else's head.
Right.
That bothered the shit. And I'm not schizophrenic at all, just so you guys know.
It just scared me.
But it really bothered me that somebody else was in his head just talking to him. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. But you got to do that, Ronnie. You know, I thought that was so dumb.
Well, as a kid,
like, why?
As a kid, too, I think, like, when you heard Firestorm, you just thought he had fire powers.
Yeah.
Because he had a flaming head. He has fire powers.
Yeah, it's a little misleading.
I remember him, though. Remember when they added him to Super Friends? And he would, because they had no new characters forever. And then all of a sudden, like, Firestorm joined.
Superpowers, when it came superpowers.
Superpowers,
That's what I added.
Yeah. The superpowers. And I just remember going, like, wow, this guy's new and he's cool and he's got a fire head. And then they came with the toy. I was like, I want
His
that
costume
toy.
was kind of unique. You know, he
Yeah.
had like the atoms spinning around.
Yeah, it's a cool costume. Captain Atom would be kicking himself with this.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Why didn't I do that?
All right, so for 3, everybody's agreeing on
Yeah.
things.
I know. What's going on here?
Well,
What's wrong? We're all a bunch of lemmings here,
So,
sit at the table?
So I'm usually the one with the teams, but like I said, I didn't do a team today, but
Donald,
somebody else
so
did.
you have a team here, the Battle of the Supernatural teams?
I do, guys. I decided to do a team this time. It's my first team, everybody. So please be gentle.
Breaking his team cherry.
I am, yes. That's absolutely getting
My
popped.
God,
tonight.
man, you have 20 pages there?
I have, for this, I have 7. So
Strap in.
I was very thorough,
Okay.
everyone. Very thorough in my
Your
in my
assessment.
analysis. But I have the Midnight Suns
Nice.
versus the Justice League Dark.
Oh, wow.
I am excited for this.
So the Midnight Suns, basically Justice League Dark, they're a relatively powerful team. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Midnight Suns, I don't know if a lot of people know about the Midnight Suns. So I thought I would take some of the old, some of the new, and some of the alternative Earth
Mm-hmm.
versions and just kind of throw them all onto one team
Wow.
and see what kind of a hodgepodge we could get.
Wow.
This is a tossed salad
nut.
of fun, let me tell you. So the Midnight Suns, we're going to start with them. We're going to start out with Danny Ketch,
Okay.
the
Nice.
second Ghost Rider after Johnny Blaze.
Who I think is very underrated. I think that first run of his by who wrote that?
Fabian.
I'm gonna side with Fabian on this one. I love that first
Donald
run.
decided with Fabian by just simply including him.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
No,
By
I
you
haven't.
including
Did
one of his...
Fabian create him?
Not originally, no.
There we go then.
Agree to disagree, Fabian.
Yeah. You're not winning this round, Fabian, not with me. Anyway, so I go with this version of Ghost Rider. His powers, we've talked about Ghost Rider in the past. His powers, he's got superhuman strength, speed, stamina, and durability. He's got a penance stare, which is the ability to cause others to experience a level of emotional pain equivalent to that which they have caused others. He has a magical chain, and he has the ability to summon a wall of flame. He also possesses hellfire, so he can spit out hellfire, comes out of his eyes, mouth, ears, wherever the hell he wants to come out with it. My second choice for this team of Midnight Suns was none other than Blade.
Nice.
And every time I deal with Blade, I just love him. He's a human-vampire hybrid with all the strengths but none of the weaknesses of a traditional vampire. His powers, he's got superhuman strength, stamina, speed, agility, heightened senses, and a rapid healing factor.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of like the little Wolverine.
Pretty badass, yeah.
Very badass.
And he can operate in the daytime.
Right. And the
Daywalker.
third one I threw in here was Doctor Strange.
Oh, shit.
So I'm overpowering this team like a mother.
yeah. Well, you got it. When you're going Marvel versus DC, you got to stack the deck.
Right.
Yeah.
So he is the mightiest magician in the cosmos and the sorcerer supreme.
Mm-hmm.
He's powers.
I call him friend.
You call him friend? Oh, that's
yeah, me and
nice.
Stevie.
His powers, Strange also, what he wields is the mystical artifacts, including the Cloak of Levitation, That enables him to fly. The Eye of Agamotto, which is an amulet whose light is used to negate evil magic. He has the Book of Vishanti. It contains knowledge of white magic and stuff like that. And the Orb of Agamotto, a crystal ball which is used for clairvoyance.
Mm-hmm.
He has so many powers.
Yeah,
he's Sorcerer Supreme, guys.
Yeah.
He's a big one. I also stacked the deck again. I put in Damien Hellstorm,
Nice.
the son of Satan. His powers: he can cast spells to transport himself and others into mystical dimensions and back to Earth. He can project mystical energy in the form of soul fire,
Soulfire.
also called Hellfire.
It's like the name of a restaurant.
Yeah, yeah,
Soul
kinda.
food restaurant.
Right.
Soulfire.
He can project that from his trident, which creates a concussive blast as well. He could use the soul fire for various other effects, including flight and physical transformations. He has superhuman strength and occasional time travel.
Okay.
Hellstorm is also an expert in demonology and a highly experienced exorcist with some knowledge of mystic rites.
Hmm.
He's a big one, guys.
Yeah, he's tough.
He definitely comes into play. Fifth and foremost, what is a team of Midnight Suns without a man thing?
Nice.
Former scientist who was transformed into a large, slow-moving, apathetic humanoid swamp monster living in the Florida Everglades. His powers are he's able to sense human emotions and is enraged by fear and automatically secretes a poisonous chemical. Anyone feeling fear and clutched by the man thing is prone to be burned.
Yeah, he who knows fear burns at the touch of the man.
Right.
Yeah.
He has superhuman strength, speed, intelligence, durability, immortality. Give the monster power, it is his spiritual ability that makes him immune to any other diseases. He can reorganize himself by drawing the necessary material from the surrounding vegetation as well. So he has some ties to plant life.
Okay.
Sounds like someone we know.
Sounds like someone we know. Now, number 6 on my team. We can't have Blade and not have Morbius.
Nice.
A scientist named Dr. Michael Morbius is a man suffering from vampiric abilities and physical traits resulting from a biochemical experiment.
Nice.
He messed up, guys.
Yeah.
He did something he shouldn't.
He got a piggy face.
Right. He does, kind of.
Poor guy.
Superhuman strength and speed, as well as heightened senses, including night vision and echolocation. He possesses an accelerated healing factor as well, and can transverse wind currents.
Wow.
He
Did
can't
not know that.
fly.
You're right.
He
Like use the wind currents.
Yeah, just really weird. So if there's no wind, he's just kind of grounded.
He's also got a really rockin' in his original costume, sweeping V-neck.
Yes, sure he does.
It is a
He
pretty
does.
badass costume.
He look at a costume party, you know? He look at the Halloween party.
And so I also went alternate timeline, and I brought in Werewolf by Night.
Oh, I love it.
This is a good team, guys.
This is like a 70s team practically.
Yeah, he's a victim of an ancient family curse. Jack Russell has struggled for years with his bestial alter ego, but in time, he's able to now take control of it more.
And did that I mean, that had to be on purpose. They named him Jack Russell, like after the dog. like
Right.
the Jack
Oh, I'm
Russell
sure. Yeah,
Terrier.
yeah, absolutely.
So fucked up.
Powers and werewolf form. He possesses superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability, agility, and reflexes. Superhuman sense of smell. He has razor sharp teeth and claws, able to rend light metals, so he can tear through like car doors and shit. He's resistant to many forms of conventional injury and very hard to kill by conventional means. Though he can be severely wounded, he can recover. So he also has a healing factor here.
So Silver Bullet, he can come back from that?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if it's taken out, I guess, and not to the heart. I
I
would
don't know if
imagine.
did they ever, I mean, I didn't read a lot of Werewolf by
Silver
Night.
can affect it.
Did they do that? Okay.
Absolutely. And my number 8 and final team members, Mordred the Mystic.
Ooh.
I threw a wild card in here,
that's a
guys.
I like that. I like that.
He's a 6th century sorcerer who sought to control the mystical tome of the Darkhold.
Oh, that's
We
the
have-
opposite of the Book of Ashanti.
Right. We have not talked about the Darkhold much,
Yeah.
but I would love to dive into that because there's a current, or was a current, run of Carnage that dealt a lot into the Darkhold. It was really cool.
And in the 90s when they introduced the Midnight Suns, they had a comic for just about the Darkhold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just a lot of like regular humans that like had knowledge of the Darkhold.
Right, and came into contact with
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Like all that Midnight Sun stuff, now that I've been looking into it, I really want to go back and
Oh, it
and
was
read
fun. No, I loved it. It was like Marvel got like goth for like a couple years. It was really cool.
Yeah, when I was a kid though, I would toss those in the corner. I'd be like, "Oh, I got another one of these," and I'd throw it.
Yeah, no, me too. And then I think I picked them up 4 or 5 years later, and they were really good.
Yeah, so I'm gonna definitely dive in there at some point. Mordred's powers. His powers are a result of the manipulation of the forces of magic and possession by the demon Chithan.
Chthon or
Chthon?
Chthon.
I'm not great with
I
that,
don't
so
know.
I'm sorry. Mordred has superhuman stamina and durability. He has the ability to manipulate magical forces for a variety of effects, including levitation, control of elements, creation of mystical shields, and energy projection. He can also cast any spell contained in the Darkhold. But there's a caveat to this. He will lose both his sanity and his knowledge of magic when he is no longer possessed by said demon. So that may come into play. I don't know. We'll see.
I like this. You're like 2 characters that have demon possession with them.
Oh my god, dude. There's like so many. There's Ghost Rider, which basically had a demon possessing him. There's the Son of Satan, who's
Son of Satan, of course.
Demonic in his own right.
Lucifer, yeah.
And then Mordred. So now we're going to get into the Justice League Dark. Okay? We're going to go with Deadman. He's the first guy I have on here. Can't go Justice League Dark without Deadman.
My man, Boston Brand.
Boston Brand, who was murdered during a trapeze performance. Basically, he was then possessed by the living spirit of a Hindu god.
This is all pretty common, though.
Right, of course. And that way he could, obtain justice for his own murder. His powers are he's able to pass through objects and could fly or float. He's able to possess any living being, human or animal, control their actions, and can communicate to others through the body. He has issues possessing those with stronger minds, like Batman, for example. And he also has problems with magic, as his spiritual form can be manipulated by it to some degree. So there's some issues there with Deadman. My second member, being brief on this, guys, is John Constantine. I've talked about him before.
We know who he is.
He's a working class detective, an occultist, con man. He's a sorcerer. He's armed with the knowledge of many magical spells, rituals, curses, necromancy, illusions, invisibility, and can even use magic to time travel. John's most signature ability is synchronicity, wave traveling, which is instinctual supernatural ability for Constantine to make his own luck, which I don't think I mentioned the last time.
No, that's cool.
He's resistant to many psychic attacks, such as telepathy, possessions, and mind control. He also possesses mind teleportation, counter spells, elemental magic, telekinesis, and immobilization. His blood also has healing properties.
Nice.
So if a vampire tries to bite him, it's basically corrosive acid and will kill the vampire. The next member, of course, you can't have Man-Thing without Swamp Thing, guys.
Oh boy, here we go.
Alec Holland, who was a scientist working in Louisiana swamps. Basically, he was killed by a bomb planted by some bad dudes. He was splashed into some swamp with burning chemicals and formed the humanoid Swamp Thing. His powers: he can inhibit and animate vegetable matter anywhere, including alien plants, even sentient ones, and construct it into a body for himself. As a result, bodily attacks mean nothing. He can easily regrow damaged or severed body parts. He can transport himself across the globe. He can transfer his consciousness to new form growth from wherever using vegetable matter that's present. He has superhuman strength and control over all plant matter, which bends to his will. Next one I have, this is a little off the page, guys. I'm going with Shade the Changing Man.
Nice.
Rack Shade. He's a fugitive from a militant plant meta in another dimension. He has an M-Vest, or what's called a Madness Vest. It creates a strong force field that repels weaponry and allows a degree of flight. It also distorts his appearance and can allow him to transport himself and others into the area of madness. He can also warp reality around himself or others.
Right.
Oh, that's a nice power.
Very powerful guy. My next one is Andrew Bennett, a.k.a. I Vampire. For those of you that may not know. In 1951, after being turned into a vampire himself, and this is a really cool story, by the way, Lord Andrew Bennett turned his lover, Mary Seward, into a vampire, and she became corrupted by the power. She took the name Mary, Queen of Blood,
natural.
and created a group of vampires called the Blood Red Moon, bent on taking over the world. The series of these comics follow Bennett into modern days. He tried to undo his mistake and take down Mary and the Blood Red Moon. So I thought it was if there's
That's a
something
cool story,
bound
yeah.
for a movie,
Yeah.
guys, this is it.
Yeah.
His power,
Or at least a TV show.
he's got supernatural strength and speed, shape-shifting into mist, bat, wolf, hypnosis, and healing factor. He can also turn others into vampires. My next member, you can't have Werewolf by Night without Frankenstein.
Nice.
This is going to be a battle, guys.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Frankenstein is an undead body composed of many parts. We all know Frankenstein. His power, superhuman strength, he's unkillable.
He's basically a zombie in many respects.
Yes. Black Orchid is my 7th member.
That's another wild.
A
Black
new
Orchid.
shape-shifting version of Black Orchid is revealed to be Alba Garcia, and she works for Argus, so that's kind of her backstory. The other one we really never knew.
Right.
She's a human-plant hybrid with superhuman strength, speed, agility, and durability.
She's
she
a
can-
human-plant hybrid?
Yeah.
Really?
She can fly, including into space, capable of reincarnation by mental transference to host bodies growing in stasis. A master of disguise capable of altering her appearance and voice. Mystical connection to the plant world through the force of nature called the green. So she's connected to Swamp Thing. My last member of Justice League Dark is Zatanna.
Ooh.
You can't have Justice League Dark without Zatanna.
No, you
Love me
cannot.
some Zatanna.
She's a stage magician and an actual magician, like her father, Zatara.
Mm-hmm.
She has many of her father's powers relating to magic, typically controlled by speaking the words of incantations spelled backwards. As a skilled genetic magic-wielding magician, she has used her powers to command elemental forces. She can heal, transmute, and transmogrify objects, manipulate minds, and attack her opponents with blasts. She has resurrected cities from ruin. She's merged spirits, and she's manipulated time and space. Oh, and she's also a skilled illusionist.
Mm.
So that is my Justice League Dark.
Now, Donald, this is a very interesting but also very dangerous matchup for the planet. I mean, it's not going to be an Earth left by the time this is all said and
Or
done.
reality.
Guys,
Or
this
reality.
is going to be fun.
I mean, half the universe, actually half the universe in both the DC and Marvel universe could be just dissipated, destroyed.
I saw this as a battle of Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I basically have all of Central Park just kind of being annihilated,
Hmm.
but not going too far outside of there because we have so many other realms that we're dealing
Right,
with.
That's true.
So I tried to contain it to where Earth wasn't completely destroyed. Unlike Kevin, who in one of our podcasts had a nuclear
Right off the bat,
disaster.
yeah.
Just completely happened to
And
destroy
everything's
everything.
gone.
Yeah. So we all die.
Yeah, nobody wins.
So with that, gentlemen, let the Smackdown begin.
Dear Lord.
Here we go.
Here we go with the story, guys. This is going to be like a radio show for me. Andrew Bennett's ex-lover is amassing a legion of the undead. Andrew in the Justice League Dark looks to change her mind, kind of talk her down from this madness, while the Midnight Suns arrive, looking to eliminate her and Andrew along with her. This is where it starts. Shade, the changing man, immediately notices the firelit skull of Ghost Rider. Knows this guy's a bad dude.
Yeah.
His skull is on fire, and you can see his skull. He knows he's a tough dude. So he just goes, okay, I'm going to send him to the area of madness. Completely taking Ghost Rider out of the playing field. Ghost Rider's gone.
Wow, just like that.
Just like that. Andrew Bennett begins his battle with Morbius, of course.
Right.
You got to have vampire and vampire. Both fighting hard. Andrew bites Morbius, but to no effect. Morbius grabs Bennett, kind of in a bear hug, as Blade throws his silver chain around them both. Bennett can't get through that. Doesn't affect Morbius quite as much.
Because he's the science vampire.
He's a science vampire. So basically what Blade does is he grabs them both with the chain, wraps it around them, and he drags them out into the sunlight. While this injures Morbius and does damage him, it
Right.
completely annihilates Bennett, and he dissipates into dust.
I vampire
He's dead.
is
I vampire
no vampire.
is-
It's by vampire.
By vampire. Ah, good one. Yep, so he's gone.
Yeah.
So we already have a couple guys already off the playing field. Mordred takes the initiative because, he's kind of the bad,
Yeah.
the
black sheep of the
sorcerer.
family,
Yeah. So he knocks Zatanna against a wall with one of his spells. She counters, but he dodges it. This gives Constantine enough time to cast a spell to pull the demon out of Mordred, instantly driving the man insane. Shade the changing man then goes, you know what? Boom, area of madness for you as well. And ships him off to the area of madness of Ghost Rider so they can be happily ever
He's like,
after.
but I was already
So as Morbius heals, Dead Man takes initiative and he jumps into Blade.
Ooh.
Blade's not magical. He doesn't sense it.
No.
Dead Man jumps into him, possessing him. He uses his body, grabs one of his silver swords, and decapitates Morbius, killing him instantly. Off the playing field for Morbius.
Morbius is like, wait, I thought we had a...
Now, here's a good one, guys. We have Man-Thing. He grabs Swamp Thing, attempts to burn him. Swampy stumbles, overwhelmed by all the harm he's caused and the guilt and fear he feels in his soul. He's starting to feel the heat. He's starting to feel this intensity. But then he realizes, oh, wait, I am the green. While
Right.
you're part of it, guess what, buddy? You're part of me now.
Right.
He uses his immense powers to absorb Man-Thing into himself
Nice.
and render him then permanently part of the green.
Nice.
I can see that.
End of the game for Man-Thing. He's off the game, off the playing field. Now, here's where Werewolf by Night steps in. He takes on Frankenstein, of course.
Okay.
Frankenstein is fast, but Werewolf's faster. Werewolf tears Big Frank limb from limb. I mean, he's slashing and cutting him and tearing him and jumping on him. Frankenstein is now just a torso and an arm. He slashes at Werewolf, cuts him deep. He still has one arm with the sword. He cuts him deep with his sword before he's completely torn apart. Bye-bye, Frankenstein.
Oh, poor Frankie.
Werewolf by Night is injured by this battle with Frankenstein. He stumbles and then turns into the silver sword of Blade, still possessed by Dead Man. Right through the heart, instantly killing the Werewolf by Night.
Damn.
Werewolf by Night is off the playing field.
Dead Man's doing more damage than I thought.
Than you thought, right?
Yeah.
Hellstorm then. He's like, something's up with this.
Blade, why are you killing all your buddies?
Right. He notices Blade now has like stepped in and killed 2 people. One of them was not a vampire. So he's like, something's up. So he uses his trident to cast Dead Man straight into hell. Bye-bye, Dead Man. Enjoy purgatory.
Oh.
Dead Man's off the playing field. Doctor Strange, though. Doctor Strange isn't going to... He's not Mordred.
Right.
He's not going to just jump out of the gate and start attacking.
Right.
He uses his mystical powers to bring back Ghost Rider and Mordred back to Earth, teleporting them back, bringing a couple guys back onto the field.
Uh-oh.
But Mordred's still kind of nuts. He's crazy, you know,
Right.
plus he's in an area of madness. Ghost Rider's still a little shaken by it, but he's fine. Constantine, meanwhile, has placed the demon that resided in Mordred temporarily into Zatanna, giving her more than enough power to obliterate Hellstorm, which she does.
Nice.
So while Hellstorm was busy doing a few things with Blade and Deadman, that gave Zatanna plenty of time to take care of him. He is completely off the playing field. He is gone back to Daddy.
Okay.
Doctor Strange attempts to astral project himself into Constantine. Constantine senses something amiss and grabs Shade, the Changing Man, using him as a human shield to absorb the consciousness of Strange into the M-Vest. The overflow of magical energy explodes the vest and the wearer. Pieces of Shade, the Changing Man, come raining down upon Constantine. Bullocks, he says, as the blood and guts.
That
is
wasn't
all
what
over
I
his face.
thought I was going
Right.
to do.
Mordred just stands there screaming at nothing as he covers his face and hands. So there's Mordred for you guys. Blade is now free of Deadman. He approaches Ghost Rider, but Ghost Rider senses something is amiss. He's like, I don't know what's going on here. And he uses his chain of hellfire to split him in half, revealing it to actually be Black Orchid. Orchid attempts to reform herself, but is burnt away by an amazing amount of hellfire spewing forth from the Ghost Rider's mouth and eyes.
What?
Basically just burning her completely away.
Nice.
So Black Orchid is off the playing field. Frankenstein, he's still around, guys. He's just there.
His limbs
He doesn't
and a
die.
hand. Yeah.
He calls for Swamp Thing. Help, Swamp Thing, or whatever. Swamp Thing finally snaps out of this soul fire thing. You know, he's back to form. What he does is he uses his roots from the ground to sew Frankenstein back together and tells the roots to stay strong and keep him together.
Nice.
So Frankenstein is now being held together by Swamp Thing's powers. So you've got a ramped up, strong ass Frankenstein now back on the playing field.
Under Swamp Thing's control.
Right. Well, sort of.
Sort
I mean,
of.
he's letting him do his thing. Blade jumps on top of Constantine. However, this time he is fooled, as it's Mordred the Mystic he has jumped upon. You know, the sleight of hand that Constantine's so used to doing.
Right.
Mordred throws Blade from his back just as he is stabbed. Blade falls to the ground, stunned at what he has done. Mordred falls to the ground, bleeding out.
Right.
So Mordred's bleeding to death. Blade looks up to see a 7-foot-tall Frankenstein monster looming over him. Blade jams his sword into his gut. Frank growls and then picks him up, slams him back down against the ground. Just basically boom, boom, back and forth, back and forth. Blade swings around and jumps on Frank's back, stabbing him multiple times, nearly decapitating Frank. Frank tears his own arm off because he can't reach Blade. He tears his own arm off and uses it to extend his reach, grabbing Blade and bringing him around him and into a one-armed bear hug. Then, while he holds him still, Swamp Thing uses those roots to penetrate Blade multiple times all over his body, basically killing him and tearing him apart.
Aww.
He uses this, and as he does that, Frank falls to the ground, nearly lifeless, because he's almost decapitated.
Right.
He's bloody. He's falling apart. Ghost Rider rides towards Zatanna as Constantine approaches Mordred. Black Orchid lies on the ground. Whatever dust pieces you see left of her, she's gone. Doctor Strange is attempting to use another incantation to pull himself from the realm of the M-Vest.
Right.
He's inside there trying to figure it out. He's not gone yet. Ghost Rider brings a ring of hellfire up around Zatanna, who easily snuffs out the flames by sucking them inside of her and spitting them back out at Ghost Rider, who falls off his bike, sliding beneath the feet of a woman god near mad with power.
Right.
Constantine approaches Mordred. He dips his fingers into his gut, gets some blood, and begins to write an incantation with his own blood. Doctor Strange has now reappeared from the realm of madness and is quickly tied up by the rooted tentacles of Swamp Thing.
Oh no.
Who notices immediately that he's appeared and says, I can't let this guy do too much. He binds him, he gags him, he's trying to keep him off the playing field.
For now.
Ghost Rider attempts his penance stare only to be incapacitated by the madness of the demon he sees within Zatanna. Waiting for this moment, Constantine finishes the incantation on Mordred, bringing the demon back to his dying body, thereby banishing the demon and completely finishing off Mordred. Mordred is now completely gone. Zatanna easily finishes off Ghost Rider, eradicating all trace of the flaming skull. Doctor Strange uses his magic to create a fire around him that burns the branches and roots of Swamp Thing. He then turns the nearby ponds into acid, weakening Swamp Thing just enough to zap him back into Earth for the time being. So Swamp Thing is back into Earth.
Okay.
Doctor Strange has freed himself. So basically, we don't have many people left for the Midnight Suns or the Justice League Dark.
Right.
Zatanna begins her attack while Constantine prepares to lure Doctor Strange into the House of Mystery. Doctor Strange blasts Zatanna onto the front porch of the house as it appears out of nowhere. Constantine steps out, drags Zatanna inside and up the stairs into a room, shutting the door. Strange follows inside, approaches the door, blasts it open, only to find Dormammu,
Oh no.
whom Constantine has made a deal with.
Wow.
The bodies of all the fallen and all that they may still contain are his if he helps them defeat Doctor Strange, which he ultimately does, as he's been banished to the hell that is Dormammu's domain. Constantine shuts the only portal door, locking it and throwing away the key. Zatanna, Constantine, a temporarily paralyzed Swamp Thing, and a little bit of Frankenstein are all that remains as the Justice League Dark wins.
Wow.
And that is my Smackdown team matchup.
Is that it?
That's it.
I like this. There's only one thing I see that I don't understand, though.
Yeah.
You believe that Dead Man could possess Blade? As you know, there's strong mind. Blade, I believe, has a strong mind. I don't think he can easily take over him like that, in my opinion.
Well, I think there's a big difference between Batman's mind and Blade's.
Well, yes.
I think Dead Man could easily take
I think Blade's
Blade.
got a strong mind, but he's very single-minded. He's like,
Yeah.
destroy vampires.
He's in a battle. He's not thinking about possession or somebody getting inside of him. That's when Dead Man sneaks in.
How was Mordred killed at the end? I was trying to figure that one. He summoned the demon back into him, or
Blade jumped on top.
he was bleeding out. I had that, and then
Right, and then
Constantine
he was-
summoned the demon again. Or
Right, because the demon was driving Zatanna mad. So basically, what happens is that
something? He summons the demon out of Zatanna because
Right.
she's going crazy with power.
right, she's going crazy with power, and he puts that demon right back into Mordred as Mordred's dying. So by the time when Mordred's almost dead,
Right.
so when Mordred completely just dies, the demon just goes with him.
Oh,
and that's it.
it was kind of. Oh, I get it.
A 1-2
Okay.
combo. That's a way to get
Right.
rid of the demon and to get rid of Mordred.
That's very clever.
I tried.
I like the Dead Man stuff a lot. I'm not. It's so in depth that I'm not arguing with it, and also just
You know, I would actually read this. If this is actually like a story, I'd actually sit down and read it. Not to blow smoke up your what, but
Yeah.
I actually like this.
The cool thing is there's so many. What's incarnations you could do too. Like you could add
Oh, yeah.
Brother Voodoo to the
Yep.
you know, like
There's a lot. I mean, in like just the Midnight Suns, there was 2 Ghost Riders on the original Midnight Suns.
right.
So Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch could have both been in there
Right.
easily, but I didn't want that. It was just too much Ghost Rider. So I thought I'd bring in like Hellstorm instead, who's
Hellstorm was fun. That was a fun one.
somewhat similar.
Could Scarlet Witch be thrown in? I know. I should
think she was part of
never remember, but just for
No,
having it.
I could only go with like people that were part
Oh, part of it.
of the Midnight Suns at any point.
She would have been a
And
good member.
there was actually quite a bit, and this is a good team,
Oh, it
guys. The
is.
Midnight Suns.
Oh, it is.
It's just
The
and I
Constantine
mean-
is like the big factor.
right. Constantine's a tricky son of a bitch. You know, that's the problem. He
And-
always has an extra plan. He's sneaky.
Yeah, he plays some. You see, him and Doctor Strange, those guys play some serious chess.
Right, but Doctor Strange, instead of using an attack, he brings the other guys back.
Did you read a lot of Constantine?
No, I didn't
No?
read a lot
Really?
of Constantine.
No.
No, I've never read a ton of Constantine.
Because in the SmackDown and this, you seem to know.
A lot about him.
Yeah.
I just studied.
You study, do my
Plus,
studying.
you seem to like that movie too, with Keanu Reeves. Like you really got your.
You know what? I completely forgot that even happened.
Man, I walked out with such wood. Let
Yeah.
me tell you.
Mm.
Yeah, they were handing out like piles of it. When you walk down the
Firewood.
door.
It was in Canada.
It was in Pennsylvania, but you
Oh,
know,
yeah, there was
it's just
snow
as
there.
cold
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
All right. Well, with that I think we all agree, right? We're just gonna we're saying Justice League Dark.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm not gonna
Okay.
fight it.
I
I'm not
can't
gonna fight
I
it.
can't disagree. Although Doctor Strange, he's a tough son of a gun, but he can't do it by himself in this situation.
No, but it was kind of good because he was
Yeah.
doing a lot of cerebral Doctor Strange type
Right.
stuff.
Stuff.
Like, okay, I'm gonna
Right.
try it from this angle. I'm gonna try it from this angle.
It's just that you don't have a true equivalent of a
Yeah.
Swamp Thing on the Marvel side. You know,
No.
that's the problem.
And
Big problem.
there's a lot of caveats and pieces that each of these Justice League Dark teams work well off of each other
Right.
with.
Mhm.
Like the roots of Swamp Thing being able to stitch, Frankenstein back together.
Yeah.
Couldn't have worked for anybody on the Marvel side.
No.
Also, when you're doing like just an unkillable character, you're like, well, he's gonna be there no matter what. So even if his head's there, Justice League Dark wins. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like,
And that's
Kinda.
very clever with Swamp Thing, just basically build him a new body. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would actually read this.
and I
Well,
like the Black Orchid subterfuge. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that was like her big thing, so I thought I got to put that in there. She's not, compared to the others, she's not a hugely strong character, so I
Right.
tried. But, I tried to make it fun with her. But yeah, this was a lot of fun to do. This is very time consuming, but a lot of fun
Probably
to do.
took you 2 weeks to put that together.
In Marvel or DC, or both you guys, if you're listening, it seems like we got some people that might want to read this.
Yeah.
So maybe, I'm available. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Bring it with
Bring it.
checks. All right. Well, that'll do it for this epic. I'm going to say this is one of our most epic,
Very extensive.
extensive superhero Smackdowns. Rate, review, and in order to do that, you should probably subscribe to us on iTunes
And YouTube.
or any pod catcher that you get.
We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're all over the place, guys. Look us up.
Show us some love.
Yeah, get us on YouTube, subscribe there. And with that, I'm Jared,
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Donald.
and we'll see you at the comic shops.